I welcome you to this third lecture on multivariate linear models. We have earlier discussed some elementary aspects of multivariate linear models, estimation and some little bit of distribution theory related issues in the earlier two lectures. This is our third lecture, and we have discussed that in multivariate linear model is essentially an extension of univariate linear model, where we have observations from n individuals, and for each of these individual I have a design matrix capital X which we denoted, and beta parameter, that's the parameter to be estimated and inferred about. Now in this third lecture we shall discuss estimation of the same B parameter. Recall that in the multivariate linear model the B parameter is the analog of the beta parameter for univariate linear model. Now in this lecture today we are going to discuss estimation of beta, rather the B matrix, but with linear restriction. So that linear restriction will be given by the B matrix pre-multiplied by a given matrix, given a known matrix capital A, which, so A times B is equal to 0, that's the restriction. We shall find estimate of B subject to this constraint, and we shall go ahead as we did earlier with least squares approach. One of the salient thing that we shall see here, we have seen already that in our first early lectures that the estimation was heavily dependent on notion of projection matrices, and this lecture we shall see that the same thing, same approach essentially, but with much greater depth. So let us go ahead. Let's specify your objective first. We have already seen what a multivariate linear model is. Let's state that again. The multivariate linear model that we are going to consider is given by y is equal to xb plus e. So what is y? Y is our data matrix, x is the design matrix, b is the matrix of parameters, and e is the error matrix. And let's say state the sizes. X is of size n cross p. We shall make appropriate assumption about capital X little later, and capital B is of size p cross d. And the topic that we are going to discuss today is this. We are going to discuss least squares estimation of capital B subject to linear constraints given by AB is equal to 0. So let us recall that in the first lecture we discussed estimation of the B matrix. There was no restriction whatsoever. The only what matters is really the rows or the columns of B, and in this case we have a linear restriction that is given by AB is equal to 0, where A is a known Q cross P matrix of rank Q. So there are Q many rows, and it's a full row rank. This is a situation that we have to handle with adequate care, and we shall see that projection matrices and their use, they are playing a very crucial role in this situation. We have already seen use of that in univariate linear model and in our early lectures of especially the first one on multivariate linear models, but we shall see here that the same path is being taken, but projection matrices are being used in much greater depth. And this lecture is essentially adapted from Saber's book 1984 Wiley text Multivariate Observations. So now before we specify the problem and before we go ahead with the formal treatment, let's describe the model again. So in this case, as we noted, y is equal to xb plus epsilon. As univariate linear model, y is equal to x beta plus, we write e or epsilon. This is our model, and y is of size n cross d, x is of size n cross p, b is of size p cross d, and e is the error matrix. And each of the rows of capital Y represents observations on d response variables for n sampling units or individuals, one might say. So basically the rows of the capital Y matrix are the observations on n units or individuals, which we denote by y1 transpose through yn transpose. And we could also write down the same matrix looking at the columns of capital Y, which we call y superscript 1, y superscript 2, so on and so forth, till y superscript d. Now what are these? So yi transpose is the vector of observations on d response variables for the ith sampling unit, where I runs from 1 through n. Y superscript j, the jth column of capital Y, consists of n independent measurements on the jth response variable. So if we look at simply the first column, say, the first column will give us the n independent measurements on the first response variable for n sampling units. So basically the rows corresponding to sampling units, columns correspond to measurements on the response variables. We have seen it before, but it is necessary to remember these aspects. Let us write the capital B matrix in the form where beta 1 through beta superscript 1 through beta superscript d, and E in the form epsilon 1 transpose through epsilon n transpose, the rows. And like in Y, we can write the E matrix also as epsilon superscript 1 through epsilon superscript d. So what do we get now? So if we look at again the relationship y is equal to xb plus e, this y is equal to xp plus epsilon, etc. yi transpose is simply the ith row of x times b. So therefore I get y is equal to b transpose xi plus epsilon I. And similarly yj, so what is y superscript j? It is the vector of n observations on the jth variable, x beta j plus epsilon j. So these are the things that we should remember for the discussion to come, and here j runs from 1 through d. And what is the assumption about the E matrix that we make? We notice that the n rows of y are the observations on n sampling units. So the natural assumption is these rows, or rather epsilon 1 through epsilon n are uncorrelated with mean 0 and common dispersion matrix. So mean 0, common dispersion matrix sigma, and they are uncorrelated. So which we write in this manner: expectation epsilon I 0 for I is equal to 1 through n, dispersion epsilon I sigma for I is equal to 1 through n, covariance epsilon I to epsilon j is equal to 0 for I, j, both running in between 1 and n, but I not equal to 0 and j. So when we are talking about least squares estimation, before we talk about go ahead with the formal treatment, we should ask and answer. So what is least square? What is the mathematical description of least squares in this case? In the univariate linear model, we have minimized y minus x beta transpose, y minus x beta. That was a scalar, but here we are working with matrices, so we have to have a suitable notion of ordering. So what is that ordering? We look at y minus xb transpose y minus xb. It's a matrix, symmetric matrix, and we want to minimize this symmetric matrix if we could with respect to a certain ordering criteria. If we could minimize this with respect to B, then we would have got. So we need, for this minimization process, we need a suitable way to compare two symmetric matrices C and D. So let's see, here is the appropriate notion of partial ordering for two symmetric matrices C and D of the same size. So we see that C is larger than is equal to D if C minus D is non-negative definite. So that's my criteria. A minus B is non-negative definite. With this underlying notion of ordering, same as this, so we take this as our criteria for comparing to symmetry matrices. So now we wish to minimize this as a function. So without additional restriction, this problem has already been considered in our first lecture. In this third lecture, what we are looking at, we wish to minimize this function subject to AB is equal to 0, where this capital A is a known Q cross P matrix of rank Q. So these are the things that we are considering, and let us again remind ourselves that basically we are minimizing this, and minimization implicitly assumes that this is our underlying criteria for comparison. So let's recall again what we have done. We have seen that there are two aspects that we have seen. First of all, this minimization problem does admit a solution, number one. Number two, any b hat that minimizes this with respect to the criteria we noted in the previous slide, it minimizes this as a function of b if and only if it is satisfies this x transpose x b hat is equal to x transpose y. So a solution b hat of this normal equation, or equivalently any b hat that minimizes this as a function of b, is called a least squares estimator of b. So this is what we have already seen. And before we proceed further, let us remind ourselves the role of projection matrices. So there is the underlying geometry. What is the underlying geometry? Now notice that, so this is the normal equation that we have to solve. Now this normal equation can also be written as x transpose xb hat is equal to x transpose y, which is same as x transpose into y minus xb hat is equal to 0, If we look at this and write capital Y is equal to this rows, columns y superscript 1 up to y superscript d, and b is equal to b beta superscript 1 till beta superscript d, and the corresponding estimate beta superscript 1 hat beta superscript d hat, then this equation x transpose y minus x beta hat is equal to 0 can also be written as, which is extremely easy to verify, rather trivially verifiable, that x transpose x beta j hat is equal to x transpose yj for j is equal to 1 through d. So it is this. Now this clearly reminds us what we did in univariate linear model. So let's go back to the previous slide. This, if we look at this last relationship, this is x transpose times yj minus x beta j superscript, this is equal to 0. In other words, yj minus x beta hat j in this case is j is a superscript, is orthogonal to cx. Strip cx is the column space of x, or in other words, this x beta j hat is the orthogonal position of y superscript j onto cx. So let's see. Let's see what we can do with this. We suppose we write for the px. Let px denote the projection matrix onto cx, that is the column space of x. Then x beta j hat is equal to px of y. That's what we learned from this, px of yj. This implies in turn, now if we look at the x b hat matrix, what is x b hat? X beta hat 1, x beta hat 2, and so on and so forth. So I shall get px is equal to y. So it is essentially the same formula that we have done for univariate linear model. We are repeatedly applying the same strategy to the individual columns of capital Y, and that gives me the individual estimate of the columns of. So now we are in a position to address the question. Now that we have this prior knowledge and understanding, what we do, we want to write down, we want to minimize this subject to AB is equal to 0. That is the linear restriction, we repeat. And since we have already seen that basically finding a solution to this without any such restriction means we have to project each column of y onto the column space of x. So therefore this is a general purpose technique. So we have to somehow create a situation by a little bit of technical manipulation where basically the same kind of calculation goes through with additional care and additional work. So what we do, we write xb. The xb is the mean of x. If y is equal to xb plus e and e has expectation 0, so this is the mean of y, which we denote by capital theta. Because this capital X is of rank p, which we assume, that means we assume that if we assume that capital X is a full column rank, then which we do here, then we see that there is a connection between this matrix B and this theta. So X is a full column rank. So had beta be a vector, we would have been able to extract that beta vector from this relationship. Similarly here we can write B is equal to X transpose X inverse theta. This is X is of size n cross p, so this is a p cross p matrix, full rank, so invertible. So what we do, we now rewrite this in terms of, so there is a connection between this b parameter and this theta, the expectation of y. So we rewrite this equation in terms of theta. So how do we proceed? We define A1 is equal to A times X transpose X inverse. And notice that AB is equal to 0. So if we just mechanically substitute in place of this X transpose X inverse theta, we get AB is equal to 0 means A X transpose X inverse theta is equal to 0. We have already given a name to the matrix A X transpose X inverse, which is A. So AB is equal to 0 if and only if A1 theta is equal to 0. Alright, so this is the formulation we were trying to achieve. So let's see now what we are minimizing. We are minimizing this quantity as a function of B. We are transforming it to a problem of minimization as a function of 2, 1 involving a function of theta. So I write here y minus theta transpose y minus theta. And what is the property of theta? First of all, A1 theta is equal to 0, which means the columns of theta each pre-multiplied by A will give me 0 vector, which means each column of A will be an element of the null space of the matrix A1, number 1. Number 2, because theta is of the form xb, so therefore each column of theta is an element of column space of X. So therefore we see that this minimization process, this takes place, this is a minimization of y minus theta transpose y minus theta as a function of theta subject to the columns of theta lying in this column space of X intersection null space of A1, which we call capital V. So we see that basically what we were doing earlier, we were trying to identify a suitable space on which we are projecting the columns of y. Now we are almost done. So columns of theta are here. So now we have to suitably identify this, work with this space, which we call capital V. So now we have a relatively easy to understand but with much deeper consequence. So we see that this is a vector space, column space of X intersection null space of A1. Since V is a vector subspace, we are still in the same situation as the unconstrained minimization, except that earlier we had Cx, now we have Cx intersection null space of A1. So what do we do now? Earlier we had this estimate of xb was xb hat, that is the projection of individual columns of y onto the column space of X. Now we are having this minimization of y minus theta transpose y minus theta, where theta lies in a certain subspace called V. So hence the unique least squares estimated of theta subject to this AB is equal to 0 or equivalently A1 theta is equal to 0 is given by PV of y simply because of the previous argument, where PV represents the orthogonal projection onto V. This is V. We denote this least squares estimated by theta hat H. So this is a new notation that we introduce now. This H naught, it is written to connect this estimation problem with a possible testing problem when we shall have occasion to test AB is equal to 0. This sort of question like lambda prime beta is equal to 0 in univariate testing we have seen. It is basically the same problem, and in order to pursue the analysis of variance based test, projection based test or likelihood ratio test, we have seen that we need to compute, for instance in the likelihood ratio test, we need to compute an expression for the estimator of MLE of capital B subject to A beta is equal to 0. So therefore we give it a new name, this new estimator, this theta hat H. Earlier we had theta hat, now we have theta hat H. Since X is a full rank and we have seen that there is a connection between this theta hat H and X B H hat or B hat H, whatever we call it. So there is a unique relationship between these two, the 1-1 relationship. If I get theta hat H, I shall be able to extract BH hat, and if I get BH hat, obviously from that we can compute theta H hat, and this beta BH hat is the required restricted least squares estimate of B. We shall continue this in the next lecture, and what we have done really, we have done basically is the following. We have introduced the problem of multivariate linear estimation of the B matrix subject to a linear restriction given by AB is equal to 0 in multivariate linear model given by y is equal to xb plus e. Then we recall again the model and the estimation strategy when there is no restriction on the B matrix. Then we notice, which we did earlier, that this is basically an argument involving projecting each of the column of Y to the column space of X. So that was the primary point, that is the point where we begin our journey. Now in this case, instead of column space of X, we identify a different space which we call V, on which we have to project the columns of Y's one after another. So this is so we have been able to, by suitable manipulation, by suitably constructing V, we have been able to come to this point. Now the next steps will be to suitably write down this form of the PV matrix. So at the end, let us remind ourselves what we have done in this lecture. With little bit of technical notation, let me remind ourselves, rather state again, that we have considered the multivariate linear model given by Y is equal to XB plus E. Y is my data matrix of size n cross D. X is the design matrix of size n cross P, and B is the matrix of parameters which is of size P cross D, and E is the error matrix. And the topic that we specifically discussed in this lecture is least squares estimation of B subject to linear constraints on those parameters present in B. This linear constraints is given by B pre-multiplied by matrix A equals 0, where A is a known Q cross P matrix of rank Q. So since we have already seen this discussion, so I am at the end I am talking in using notations. And we should remember that while estimating B without any restriction, like in this lecture what we did, it was basically heavily dependent on use of what is known as projection matrices. And in this lecture also we saw the same, but in much greater depth. So it is of importance, and it should be noted that in linear model, both univariate and multivariate, projection matrices play a very crucial role.